Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of ELEV8. I am your host, Mr. Caraway, and today my co-host CJ Boyd is a little tied up with work, so we want to give him a special shout out. And brother, keeping on what you're doing with work, because we know how important that is. So, with no further ado, I want to bring in a special guest and a co-host of an upcoming podcast here on the BS3 network. I'm not sure of the name, but I'm gonna let her give that information. But this is someone that has been supporting us since day one. This is someone that I look at as a extension of my family now. I had the privilege of meeting and talking with this young lady last weekend, and man, I tell you, we had a great time. So with no further ado, let me bring in Miss Walker, and everybody say hello to Miss Walker.
Hello, everyone. That was such a beautiful introduction. Oh, gosh.
You know, I try to do what I can. You know, I ain't all that.
You are all that. Thank you so much.
And we got Mr. A-Trap in this building.
Hey,
Mr.
A-Trap.
Happy belated birthday, man, himself. Good evening to you. And what a great time just hanging with everyone in the network and, you know, celebrating A-Trap and his birthday, man. I mean, what one hell of a guy, someone that I look at as a big mentor, someone that I know that if needed, pick up that phone, get advice from, whatever the case may be. And we have someone else in the building.
What's up?
Another huge mentor of mine, Mr. Butler's in the building. So, Keisha, while I have you on that topic, what is your podcast name?
It is called Perspective 3, and Mr. Eric Butler, the intellect there, is one of my co-hosts. And I can't say her last name, but I know her first name is, we call her Dr. Toya.
Okay.
And she's another one of our podcast co-hosts. So we're looking forward to trying to get started very, very soon. Hopefully in the next few weeks.
I know that's right. Me, CJ, and some of our listeners are definitely looking forward to it. I know that it's going to be inspirational. I know that it's going to have a lot of content to it, and I can't wait for you guys just to get rolling. And I'm just going to throw it out there. If y'all ever feel the need to have a young man on your show, feel free to reach out. I may make myself available. Just for you guys.
We were actually thinking about calling A-Trap, so we'll pencil you in though. Thanks for for the.
Damn, I knew
I'm just playing.
I should have canceled tonight's show. What am I thinking about?
I'm just playing.
Nah. That's another strong guest to have too. We had him on and he brought some knowledge, and it's been times me and him just had conversation, and I definitely take from his knowledge as well. But that was a good,
and he's so smart. And I was telling him, I'm like, I like nerdy boys, because they always know what they're talking about. So
don't blow up the man's head too much. I mean,
but it's the truth.
Yeah, both of those brothers. Honestly, I think a lot of us, as far as males here on the BS3 network, I think we hold ourselves really, really well. And I feel like there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom with everyone. And I am proud to say that I'm a part of this network, and proud to say that I know these fellas, and I can feel confident reaching out, talking to them, getting some advice on things, as well as sharing some advice to certain ones. So kudos.
It's pretty awesome family to be a part of.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So Miss Walker, let's get into it. You have been watching us from basically since you've been a part of BS3 Network. And you have been a huge supporter of ours. So I want to tell you personally, thank you for that. We appreciate it. And it definitely doesn't go unrecognized. But some of your comments have been a little controversial, to say the least, right?
So
they can be. Yeah, but that's a great thing because I love the challenge. I love to elevate.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, going that in there. So I like to push myself and challenge myself. And one thing about it is, I definitely get that from you. I feel like you're not afraid to ask questions as well as challenge the thought process. So with some of the things that we have discussed, I noticed like with when it pertains to men and women, as far as in the Black community in our relationships, and what is it that you feel is the where's the disconnect in your opinion?
The disconnect, I believe, is um I believe it's gonna be being more open and upfront. I just had a conversation with someone about this. And just being totally honest, and I guess in lieu of trying to spare someone's feelings,
Okay.
we just kind of tap dance, if you will, around the
Mhm.
truth. And then like ultimately it may get to a point to where, it turns into like this big blow up situation in the words of Jamie Foxx. Uh, and then there's really nowhere to, no other direction to go.
Right.
It could be, that lack of communication,
Mm.
lack of understanding, or just not even trying to understand each other. Just always, it's my way. This is it. That's it.
Right.
There's no real conversation
Gotcha.
happening to get to know each other first. And a lot of times we jump into bed too quick, you know what I mean? At the first date or first meeting or whatever. And then you're all caught up in that area, in that area. But then, like, what else do you know? Do you know my middle name? You know my birthday? You know what I'm saying? Do you know
Right.
my health history? Do you know anything about me? So I think that's all those tied into one.
So what I guess like because me and CJ have had these conversations, but it's predominant. It's just us two, and we're both males, and we're both. I would consider us both as dominant males. So I always like to hear the opposite side. I always like to hear the opposite sex perspective on things. So what causes that? What causes the lack of communication or the straightforward, honest, blunt, this is what it is for me, or this is what I, want out of the situation? What causes, I guess, really for men, we know what causes that. And it's usually because we're too busy trying to impress. And sometimes a lot of it has to do with what we're taught in life. And
Mhm.
you're usually taught the old, the cliche saying, happy wife, happy life. Well, I
Mhm.
think now you're starting to see men step up and say, no, 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 that's not true. I
Mhm.
have to be happy as well.
That's true.
But for women, I think it's really more so along the lines of it benefits you guys, so you're willing to stay with it. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So what is it that keeps what keeps women continuously going down the wrong path as far as relationships or choosing the wrong men?
I would say, like I mentioned earlier, not wanting to hurt their feelings.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, a lot of men they try very hard, and we're like, okay, we tend to see what we think will be like a bright side to everything. Like, okay,
Mm.
he doesn't do this, but he does do this. He doesn't do this, but he does do this. But then it's like it just all just compounds all of a sudden. And then, like I said, and that's what causes the blow up. And it could be something as minor as what we like to call a little white lie, or it could be um, leaving out something. Because a lot of times if you leave out something with anything that you're discussing with a woman, most of the times we will say that you lied. So it's just like we're not getting to understand each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
What we want should be brought out at the beginning.
Mm.
That should be discussed and made clear before any moves are made.
Mm.
And come to a complete understanding about each other. Well, Keisha, you don't like it when I do what? Okay, I don't like when you yelling at me because I'm not going to yell back at you, but you're not going to talk to me like that. So I'm gonna hang up the phone on you probably, but I'm gonna let you know that I'm about to hang up the phone.
Right,
So
right.
it could just be something like that. I mean, just laying out everything on the line first and
Gotcha.
being open about it. So I don't think a lot of women we kind of shield that thing instead of just being straight up about it.
Yeah, and I sort of wonder that when women sort of uh, I don't know how to put it. Like it's for us as men, especially the older we get or the older we become, we usually feel as if like, okay, if you're my woman, I don't want to necessarily treat you as less than, but
Mm-hmm.
we have to be on the same agenda. We got to be on the same accord, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if I know that I have my life structured or I have my life going in a certain direction, well, you have to fall in suit and fall in line with that. And my thing is, why do women take that as such a shot? I mean, you're compromising, of course, along the ways. There are going to be things that your woman influences or your woman exposes to you that helps you and uplifts you and gives you the ability to lead, correct? But some women find it very strange when a man says, look, you got to be on my page or you got to be on my agenda or we got to keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Why
But
is that?
but you know what though? A lot of women are like that too. Um, they're because I know that I am. Not necessarily you got to be on my page. You know, I'm always open to learning different things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if we don't line up, you know, to what I've already put out, what I like, or you put out to what you like, immediately I might start losing interest because I know that you're not the one. And then at my age, now it's like you lied. That's it.
Mm.
You know, I mean, there are no gray areas. Everything is just black and white. You know, and if you do this one thing, and I've asked you not to do it, and I told you I didn't like it, that's it.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of us that comes with wisdom, that comes with time,
Mm-hmm.
and that comes with life lessons, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, a lot of times when me and CJ are having these conversations, it's more geared towards a younger crowd. It's geared towards, you know, people even younger than me. But I always looked at it as a fool learns from a fool learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So without getting too personal, can you tell us what got you to that point of knowledge or that understanding of, look, I know where I'm at, I know what I want, and this is what it is for me. And if you don't fit that, then we got to keep pushing.
Okay. I got married very young. I got married when I was 19, and
Wow.
got married when I was 19, and by the time I was got married, I'd already had two children.
Okay.
And so my mom was like, okay, you go ahead and marry him. You're already having babies with him. Okay, cool. So we went to Justice of Peace, got married. Um, he wasn't ready. And
Hmm.
I didn't figure that out or find that out until later. He was not ready. So he was like, okay, let's just have another baby. You know, maybe that'll make things better. So it's like, okay. So then we had my last baby. Now,
Uh,
mind you, he was doing all kinds of stuff during the marriage. I was just sick all the time because I'm thinking, okay, why me? You know, why is he doing this? He's not coming home. Um, Women coming to my house, threatening me, asking me to come outside so they could beat me up behind my husband.
oh no.
I mean, it was just an ongoing thing. And I'm like, okay, at some point, you got to figure out whether or not you're going to do what you need to do for you, or are you going to continue to please somebody else? So
Right.
I told him, I think Hannah was 6 months. My last child was 6 months. I told him I want a divorce.
Mm.
And he didn't believe me. I moved out. He didn't want me to work. I got my own job, got my own car. I didn't have anything when we were married. Nothing. He wouldn't let me have anything. Got my own car, got my own job, saved my money, found me a little cheap place off Skillman, and me and my babies moved. And he came with me. And I said, and this is when I knew that my balls had dropped at this point. I said, you have 6 months to find you someplace to go. Now, if everything changes and your behavior changes, you can stay. We can, work through anything. And so, hey, Taurus, that's my guy right there. And so during that 6 months, he had this job, wasn't helping. And then my cousin was working in HR at that particular job, right? He got fired. He didn't tell me. She told me. So I gave him exactly 7 days to tell me the truth. Every day he come in, hey, how was your day today? It was good. How was work? It was good. Lie number one. He told that same lie for 7 days straight. On that 7th day, I had his stuff washed, packed, and ready to go. That, like I said, that was when I knew that my balls had dropped, because I'm like, right now, it's just no nonsense.
Right.
I'm just not trying. I'm not feeling this. If I was to ever get married again, that's fine. If not, I don't even care.
Right.
And it's like every day I got tougher and tougher and tougher. So it's like now it's hard to let somebody in completely, because I look at everything. Like, nah, okay. We can't be. I can't trust you. You know what I mean? If you say you're gonna be at the grocery store and I find out that you went over here to the pool hall,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you lied. No nonsense. I don't even care. But I'm sorry, I don't care. So that's what brought me to that point.
So would you say that experience impacted you in a negative light, and it has scarred you to the point that, I don't want to say it can hinder relationships moving forward, but that impact that marriage had on you definitely impacts you, and it definitely left its mark on you, and that's okay. But it's going to take a hell of a man that is very patient and very nurturing and truly shows you that, hey, I'm really trying to get to know you. I'm really trying to get to understand you. So it's really a two-parted question. Do you feel like your mother's advice to you back then, do you feel like it was a negative advice or bad advice?
Yes.
Being so young, though, to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was bad advice. God rest her soul. I'm sorry. My mom passed away last year around this time.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. But so it's just.
Did you see what Doc said? Do people still go to the pool hall?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And so
that
yeah.
means he goes, cousin.
Everybody think about him. But yes, I would say that it was bad advice. It was. Okay. Because she'd also told me too, having a piece of a man is better than having no man at all. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But see, like, that's, my mom, of course, was brought up in the old way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That was what she knew. And so she was just sharing with me what she knew. But I'm like, no, mama. I just can't. I can't do that, Justin. No. And it did scar me. But the thing about it is, I'm over that. Right. He called me like 3 years ago. My ex-husband called me 3 years ago, and he said, I want to tell you I'm sorry about everything that happened between us. Now, he's since remarried, mind you. He called me. He said, I am so sorry for everything that happened, and I'm sorry for the length of time it took me to apologize and acknowledge what happened. I said, I forgave you 10 years ago. I can't hold on to that and expect to continue to be blessed. And I just let it go, you know what I mean? And then I told him, I said, and I understand that, we were both young. You wanted to do your thing. I mean, that's okay. And maybe you didn't know how to convey that to me at the time. Or maybe I should have understood it by how many times you didn't come home at night. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But what I understand now is it's really okay. We were both young. You think he was 20 or 21 we got 21 when we got married. And he wasn't done living. And I told him that. I knew that. I know that now, rather. I didn't know that then, but I know that now. So
I guess my question to you, especially having daughters yourself, how do you convey that, like your experience? How do you convey that when you see teenagers and I'm in love, or young adults with the I'm in love phase? Like, how do you convey that message over to let them know the difference between love and true love and lust, or just being completely honest? Most of us, usually, especially being around that age or being younger, it's really that's your that's your first heart. You know what I'm saying? Your first,
Mm-hmm.
like, really true, like, oh, I'm giving my all to this person. But in all actuality, you really don't have shit to give. And you really
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you're giving to begin with.
That's true.
But I imagine being that young, having children, that yes, you have to grow up a lot faster. And when things are brought to the light, that okay, it's easier to walk away when there's no children involved. But add on the mix of having children and being married, like, how
Mm-hmm.
do you relate that message to your daughters or to young women?
Honestly, that's why they don't have any children now. Gosh, dog. Hey, oh no, they closed it. Ain't the Clip Club closed? I go to Odyssey. Thank you very much.
I was
Uh,
gonna say, don't ask me. I ain't never been there.
you don't know about the Clip Club? I
First and
think.
foremost, that's probably like dudes in there with Stacey Adam hard bottoms on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's not my scene. Come
Yeah.
on
Ooh, honey. Well, don't. I think they closed anyway, but just don't ever go to none of the old folk club. But anyway,
now.
but anyway, dang, what was I talking about? He always distracted me. Oh, that's why my girls don't have any children now.
Mm.
Um, and it wasn't so much as what I told them. My oldest daughter remembers everything.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that she remembered everything. Now, and she told my youngest daughter about it.
Mm.
Now, mind you, I have two girls that are
Mm-hmm.
26, one that I had and one that I didn't have.
What? Whoa, what?
I have
You
two, I have two, I have two 26-year-old girls.
so did you adopt a child?
Yes, in a sense, his child.
Wait, hold on. You adopted his daughter, right? So was this
Not legally, but
okay? But
it,
yeah,
it's
yeah. Okay,
understood that she's my baby as well.
okay. So she was brought up with you, right?
She wasn't brought up with us because they tried to keep her this big secret, him and his mother. And they kept her a secret and they told her that if she was to, but they led her to believe that if she was to come around me, that I would hurt her. And so for years, she didn't know what to do with me. She didn't know how to talk to me. She didn't know how to come to me or anything. So recently she came out, she's in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And she came down, it was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And she would sit outside. And I'm like, why is she sitting outside? And she didn't know, of everything that she was told, she didn't know how to receive me. So I told my daughter, I'm like, hey, my oldest daughter said, hey, tell her to bring her in the house, tell her come inside, and so she came in. I said, come here. So I took her in my room, we sat down, we talked, and she just let me know what she was feeling. And I was like, honey, I would never hurt you. And
Mm.
ever since then, like, that's been my ace, that's my girl.
Right
uh,
on.
she has a daughter, and and that's my grandbaby, and I'm like, I don't care how you got here, you still mine. But it was so many things that he put me through. I wouldn't know how to tell a young person whether or not they're in love or not in love, or what to look for. I just tell them, just keep your eyes open and be cautious.
Right,
Because,
right.
like, you met my youngest daughter and her boyfriend. They've been
Mm-hmm.
together going on, I think, almost 3 years now. And at first I thought it was like, just puppy love, strong, like, they are really into each other and they take care of each other. Now they don't live together, but if they could, they would. So, and I trust him to take good care of my baby,
Okay. Yeah.
So I wouldn't know how to say that to a younger person. I just want them to just be cautious, watch out, look out for red flags, don't ignore them. Um, so I just don't say anything. And I do, a friend of mine was telling me, And I was telling him that, like how we welcome young love, start off and then get married and grow old together. That's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of young love, I mean, in my opinion, today's generation, you're starting to see the marriage not hold as much weight or hold as much value. And you're starting to see young adults get married later on. Like, I'm pretty sure, with our parents coming up, it was the thing when you were like, 19, 20, hurry up, get a girlfriend, get married, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even with your generation, it was like maybe mid 20s, right? In
Mm-hmm.
my generation is usually like mid 30s. And I just see it continuing to spread and spread and spread to
Mm-hmm.
now this generation coming up. It's really getting to, hey, don't get married till you in your 40s. And that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I subscribe to it. Me personally, I think that's a little crazy. But once again, it's because of our upbringing and the background that we come from.
Mm-hmm.
But I can sort of understand why guys are sort of turning to that way, because you have a lot of these relationships that end up failing or fizzling out, and then you have a lot of women that become a little bit unruly. And what I mean by that is feeling like you're in a man's place, or you
Mm-hmm.
don't need a man, is quote unquote the thing to say, right? And
Mm-hmm.
for your mother to tell you to have peace of a man is better than having no man, like you said, that was bad advice. But for the women out there that tell these girls or tell these young women, you don't need a man, you don't need a man, what would be your advice to that?
I mean, if you don't need a man, you need to keep a drawer full of batteries for that rose, or the charger nearby, something. And I'm not gonna say like you just, and I don't want to say you necessarily need one, but they are good to have around. You know what I'm saying? To get something off the high shelf, for those late lonely nights when it's cold outside. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to know who I'm holding. You know what I mean? Like what I'm saying? Like it's just because like with me having gotten married earlier, so much younger.
Mhm.
I personally feel like I don't think I ever want to get married again. I thought about it, but I don't know. I don't think I want to anymore.
Mm. So what changes? I mean, from your experience, I can only imagine being 19 and trying to be married. Like it's
And that's
it's
exactly what it was, trying to be married.
yeah, because it, it
Mhm.
it sounds good, because it's like, look at us doing adult things, and especially at that age, like 17, 18, you're in your own head, like, oh, I can't wait to be an adult. Oh, I can't wait to get out of mom's house. And
Mhm.
when it actually happens, you like, oh shit, I took a lot of stuff for granted. Like,
Yes.
I had it really made at home. Now
Mhm.
I got to provide the home and make sure they got it made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I told Hannah. I said, honey, stay at home as long as you can. Mooch off your mama as much as you can. Because when you cross that threshold and trying to be an adult, my oldest daughter was like, oh my God, adulting is so hard. It surely is. Like,
You see her
and
coming.
that's what I'm saying. Eric, there, who was that? Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, and who was that? Ashford and Simpson. They had this song, "Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I
yeah,
don't want no inanimate object. I ain't trying to,
yeah.
my wrist be sore trying to do, you know, take care of myself. No, I'm not doing that. So
But we need each other
we
to
do need
to,
each
to
other.
piggyback off of that. I mean, I think with us, especially the younger generation, a lot of us are understanding that, okay, if the woman don't want to act right here in America, or hey, I can go overseas and get one that's gonna act right for a lot less, and a
Mm,
lot less lip and a lot less grip, if you get my saying. So it boils down to that, especially for us. We have more exposure to things, right? So for me personally, I see how the Hispanic woman treats her husband, and I see how a black woman treats her husband.
Okay, let's
And
talk about this. Yeah. Okay, so I'm listening.
so when you see a Hispanic family come to America and they are dirt poor, they don't have anything. They're starting off from scratch, and you see that woman still uplift and uphold her man. Now we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but in the
Negro persuasion.
in public,
Oh, okay.
she definitely plays, I don't want to say play her role, but she plays her part in uplifting her man. And to me personally, I think there's some type of lessons that our community, not just black women, but black men as well, our community, we can learn from other cultures. I mean, I never wanted to be, I'm not saying let's be Hispanic and how they treat each other. No.
Okay.
But what I am saying is the
fix it up, Justin. Fix it up.
I'm working on it. You got me nervous here.
Oh, don't be nervous. Keep talking. You good? Go ahead. I'm listening.
But I think that black women have to learn to control their emotions a lot more. We have to learn, we as a community, we have to learn to be more vocal. We have to learn to be able to express ourselves to the right people. Your significant other should be your first person that you go to talk to about any and everything. That should be your best friend. That should be your boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, wife, husband. They have to play all those roles. And I think that that's where we drop the ball at, because we've all seen it where a black woman goes off on her husband or goes off on her boyfriend. And especially now on social media, it's more prominent than not. I mean, I don't know if you saw the clip of the lady that 4 baby daddies, and the baby daddy brought McDonald's for his son, and she got mad that he didn't bring McDonald's for all the kids.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Or the other one where the young man was taking him and his girlfriend, it was her birthday, so he invited her friends and stuff, and they all went to eat, and she got mad that he didn't pay the bill for everybody. Didn't see that one? So
everybody, but go ahead.
But see, these are the things that are happening within the black community, especially impacting our younger black listeners, our younger black youth. These are things that are happening, and they're having dialogue over it, but they have really no wisdom. They really have no one to step in and say, hell no, y'all are wrong, or you were wrong, and you need to be checked, and you need to come to an understanding of, hey, that's not the reality of things. So I hope that fixed it up, because I tried.
No. You were good. I was just giving you a hard time. You're good. But you know what though? I think a lot of issue with a lot of black women is
I don't know who that is, but hello. Thank you.
You don't know who they? I don't know. Okay.
That's cool. We got
right. Okay. A lot of black women, I would say a lot of us are sometimes a little disappointed because a lot of these men just don't follow through with the things that they say that they're going to do, or how they try to show themselves to be in the beginning. They say, okay, well, I'll do this, and then you go ahead and you get comfortable, you let him into your innards, and you let him, fill you up, rub you down and whatnot. And then next thing you know, he's just sitting there looking. You like, okay, now what next? A lot of these men now, they're not good with their hands. They don't want to mow no grass. They don't want to build nothing. They don't want to weed whack the yard. They don't know how to check the oil. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to put no air. They just know to call AAA. Like, really? Like, what? I just, it's so hard to understand. Like, I was thinking about my dad. Like, okay, like my dad, he was there, but not really. He's a pastor, and and he kind of left us twice. But growing up, we would see him mowing the yard. We would see him building things. He would build floats for the parades. He just built stuff from scratch. I went to go visit him not too long ago. My dad is 73. He built a shed with from the ground up, a 2-story shed, ran electricity through it, has lights, an AC unit, everything. 2 stories. And he's 70-ish. So it's like, what are those men? You know what I mean? Like, we've seen men before, or even the Hispanic men. They get out there, they're working, they get tanned, they eat what the lady provides with no lip. But then you got Beaver over here. Yeah, Beaver over here that sit there and just talk crap all day long. They got something to say about everything. You burnt the toast this morning. Why the eggs got brown stuff on? You know what I mean? Like, you overcooked it. Like, just eat. You know what I mean? I have been in here. I've done all this for you. So, and then it's almost like we do have to assume the role of the man. And if I got to be a man in a relationship, I don't need you.
Right.
I don't. If I got to fix the commode, I don't need you. If I got to, which I wash my car myself. I keep it cleaned out myself. I do the vacuum, keep it full of gas myself. But if you can't take over something like that, or do something for me that I can't do, or that a weaker sex, I guess, should be doing.
Okay.
I shouldn't. I can change a tire. I can drop a battery. I know I do all that stuff. But like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? What are you bringing to the table other than the hard dick? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we? No. So a lot of times, that's for me.
Got you.
It is what it is.
No, I feel you on that. And, a lot of times when what you describe to, I would say probably 90% of the men that are actually listening now and that will listen later, you just described a no good, lazy Negro.
But that's not how he made himself seem in the beginning.
Of course not.
Right. And a lot of times, unfortunately, women, we do fall prey to that. We're, in the beginning, you may put the gas in the car, you may do that. And then afterwards, you turn to somebody we don't even recognize.
Because it's just like the conversation me and CJ had before. Women are usually the ones that are finessed a lot easier. And the reason being is you guys are a lot more emotional than what we are. So there's really when you're dating someone, or just like this comment that, someone just left saying that when you're dating, you have to vet someone. You have to talk to the person and get to know more about the person, right?
Mm-hmm. So, and I believe that.
Yeah. What ends up happening is when you meet someone, the first thing you meet is a physical attraction. Mm-hmm. You're not meeting and being like, oh, they seem very handy, or they seem like they can change batteries, or, change tires. Like, you're not meeting that, right? Mm-hmm. It's very few times where you're going to be in a situation of, oh, I broke down on the side of the road and here's my knight in shining armor here to change my tire for me, that just pulled over, just happened to be driving by, and now we're madly in love. Not saying that never happens, but that's very rare, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens is when you meet someone, you meet a representative. You men are very physical creatures. So naturally, when we meet a woman, we're looking at her like, what is her aesthetics? What does she physically do for me? Am I attracted to her? Do I want to put in the effort to win her over, in a sense? Because when you get to a certain age, you sort of like, all right, the physical thing, I know that's a given. I know that's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, what else is there about this woman, right? Does she deserve that? Does she deserves the qualities that I bring to the table? And that's why I'm so adamant to talking to young boys about knowing how to date properly, knowing how to assert yourself in certain situations. Mm-hmm. You have to get past the physical aspect of things. And as long as women know that they have our non-sexual energy, you'll see a totally different change out of a woman. But if you're giving her your sexual energy, meaning every time you see her, you cleaned up, you got your cologne on, you making sure your hair cut, you making sure your line up fresh, you making sure you putting your best foot forward.
And when
guess
you see
what?
it, you're biting your bottom lip. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, but guess what? Then at that point, she's gonna continue to know that I hold the string here because I know what he wants out of me. But if a man goes into it and, like you described, just a lazy Negro that changed because, oh, I got what I wanted out of it, and we've been doing this for a while, she ain't going nowhere. And usually all of us think that way. Usually most men, we're very confident in our package, right? So most of us feel like, yeah, I laid the law down. Like, yeah, I put that work in. She ain't going nowhere. But it's very easy to be complacent. It's very easy to become stagnant in a relationship. So once again, I think that goes to your point about the communication, and you have to set those expectations up early. Hell, I need your dad come holler at me and build me a shed in my backyard because my black ass can't do it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, he's so handy. And it's like, he's a pastor. So I remember being, when we were younger, he installed indoor plumbing in a church because the church that he was pastoring when we were little, this was a long time ago, still had outhouses. And the people were okay with that. No, he installed indoor plumbing, toilets, everything in the church.
Damn, what was y'all church at?
It was, we're from Mississippi, so it was like in the sticks.
Never mind. Yeah, that explains it all.
Yeah, and
y'all just now got running plumbing like early 2000s.
That's not true, but and this was like in the early 80s.
And y'all was still using outhouses in the early 80s.
But the thing about it was, it was an old building, and so he just took over that building and rebuilt the entire church by himself. So it's like seeing that, and then like listening to now what a lot of these men are bringing or have to offer. He set the bar so high. Only thing that he did wrong in my eyes was just like he left us. You know what I mean? But as far as showing how a manly man is, he did do that.
So what's a manly man?
A manly man to me is one that will take on all challenges. My daddy would pick up snakes. Nowadays dudes are just scary. What you scared of? And I'm not talking about just no non-venomous snakes. He would just like chop heads off. We had a garden. He was always outside. He was doing outside stuff. He knew how to do everything and still does. That's what I mean by a manly man. Don't sit there and wait for me to have to help you figure out what to do. Negro, get up and do something. And if you're not doing something, pretend like you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Well, I did all I could, I still don't know what's wrong with your AC. So we're going to go ahead and take it with his hands. Yes. There were so many snakes under that church building. And I remember seeing him like killing them. Like my dad was a big buff dude, now he's, older. So he doesn't, of course, look the same anymore. But he's a big buff dude. And he was like the scary dude. He was the art teacher at the school, the well-known pastor, so yeah, he feared nothing. It appeared, I'm sure he had some fears, but he never showed us that he feared anything. So it's like, that's what I'm used to.
Well, shit, we saw your daddy was the Mandingo warrior on Django. Hell, we can't help it. Your daddy grew up fighting for his life with Chicken George and them. Damn.
He did. And my mama was tough too. I remember being a little girl going to stores and getting called a nigger, by white people. And she just endured, but she stood her ground. She was very strong, but she was like 5'2". And was like just a little fireball, so it's like a mixture between the two of them within me. So it's just so many things now that it's just like, I think I told somebody I can look at a man now and see by the way he walked that he ain't worth a damn. And just be like, nah, that's not him. Because a lot of dudes have a lazy walk. You know, they just be dragging. They don't put their pants up. They don't want to put on no belt. You know, they don't want to put themselves together. Like, put some clothes on. You know, like, okay, like, look at you with your little ball cap on, your little swoosh shirt. Decent. Presentable. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself together. I don't want to see you looking rough all the time and have to go pick out your clothes and tell you what to put on, do this, do. Really? You know, so, nah. Yeah, nah.
But you gotta understand.
I gotta understand what?
You being from Mississippi and your background is gonna be a lot different from a lot of guys that were raised in the city, right? So when you think of those stories that you just said about your dad picking up snakes, killing snakes with his bare hands, your dad out there, you know, building the church or putting plumbing in, like, yo, those were labor skills that were taught in order to survive back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, your dad learned that somewhere. He was taught that somewhere. So if you look at today's men in today's society, most of us have not been taught that. Most of us are not going to know, hey, I can go out here and do some plumbing, or I can go out here and yeah, I'm willing to pick up a snake. Like, hell no. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't picking up no damn snake. Nope. That's what we have exterminators for. And that's why I work in order to pay you. To say, hey,
and you know what? I didn't know. We didn't know nothing about exterminators and all that.
He did it all.
He did it all. He got rid of rats. You know, we had a tornado that came through and knocked all the shingles off top of the house, you know, and pulled the roof off some. He got up there and rebuilt everything, put all the shingles back down. Now he called over like some of the neighborhood teenage boys, and they helped go through and they helped pick them up off the ground as he was like tossing all the old ones down and replacing the new ones, you know, and coming up the ladder with the bags and everything. But that's all we know, you know, that's all we saw.
So what part of Mississippi did you grow up in?
It's a city called Belzona, Mississippi. And it's in the Mississippi Delta, where a lot of people think we have a lot of alligators, which we kind of probably do. I don't know. I never seen one. Wait
a minute. You ain't never seen one in Mississippi?
I saw them at the zoo, but I've never seen one just running free. I probably passed that if I seen a real alligator or crocodile or whatever it is.
In the Delta?
In the Mississippi Delta.
Oh man!
But see, we were sheltered. You know, like it was 5 of us. We couldn't wear pants. It was 4 girls, 1 boy. We couldn't wear pants. We couldn't wear makeup. We couldn't wear nail polish. Nothing. And we were just we were always in church. We're always just there. You know, so we didn't get to go out much. You know, my sisters couldn't be in the band at one point, but then they went on and got in the band, and some of them went to college on, you know, scholarships, you know, band scholarships. So it's just, yeah, we were a little sheltered.
Nah, it sounded like y'all were a lot sheltered.
But
I mean, Mississippi though, come on now. In the early,
we did go outside and play. We had a good time. We went outside and watched him mow the grass. We used to walk behind him, and he taught us how to, you know, everything to do with the mower, how to put the gas in. He taught us a lot of stuff when we were young.
Right on.
And so, and that's where, and I don't want to say it was just the Mississippi thing, but I mean, it's.
Well, he instilled, he instilled skills in y'all, which is great. I mean, I honestly try to do that today with my boys. I try to instill like different skill sets. Like, yes, you need to know how to cut your grass. Yes, you need to know how to change a tire on the car. Yes, you need to know how to check your oil to make sure, hey, do I have enough or do I need to change it? You need to be able to do those things. To me, those are one-on-one life skills, right? But as far as everything else, like, hey, picking up rats and snakes, like, nah, I have
every man needs to know if a mouse, if you're moving to this brand new neighborhood and a little field mouse get in your house, every man needs to know how to set a trap and throw them out.
Listen, we have glue traps in the garage. We have pest control come monthly. So I expect not to see not a one, please. And if I do, I need you to let me know that you caught it and it's gone. Because until then, I'll be over at my mama's house chilling.
Oh, Lord. And
I ain't playing with none of that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, can I say y'all safely, since you just said you be at your mama's house? Yeah. Y'all don't know how to do nothing, it seems like.
Who said I don't know how to do nothing?
Huh?
Who said I don't know how to do nothing?
I said it seemed like.
Why does it
Especially when it comes to getting rid of stuff and not being scary. It's like not you're protectors, but like the daddy said on Friday, put up your dukes. Everybody's so quick to run and grab a gun and shoot this person. Oh, I got my piece. I'm gonna do this. No, whoop their ass. Go back into your roots or whatever and protect. Be a real protector. Don't sit there and say, I gotta go run and get my gun and this, that, and the other thing. No.
Well, I mean, that's a different thing. I'm with you on that because I'm not the one for that. I think the gun should be like your last resort, right? Mm-hmm. But it like being able to get out there and fight and protect your family, yes, all day. You should be able to go out there and bare knuckle, walk away, win, lose, or draw. You're good. Okay. Yeah, you may have a couple of bruises or whatever, but you're gonna be fine. Mm-hmm. A lot of us, especially like city people that I know, or guys that grew up with me, I mean, these are like brothers of mine. Like, I don't even call them friends. We call each other's brothers. But we grew up fighting each other. And then guess what? We going right over here to the rec center. We going right out here to play football. But that, to me, as far as what you describe, what your father is, to me, that's not the definition of a manly man. Like, because
enlighten me.
So, I mean,
what do you think a manly man is? Your definition.
That definition can pertain to, it could be used and pertain to a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different things, right? Mm-hmm. Like for me personally, a manly man is someone that, yes, is going to protect and provide for his family and make sure things are taken care of. Now, does that mean I need to be out there catching rats and catching snakes?
No. No, that is not everything.
Okay, but does that mean I need to be out there building 2-story sheds and running electricity? Hell no.
It would be nice if you knew how to do it.
Absolutely. That's why I need your father's number when we get off. Because I get it. He's a little bit older, but what is he here in Texas now?
He's in Memphis.
Okay, close enough. Next time you get him down here, you go ahead and run him over here, and I'll put on my I'll put on my overalls and get my straw out and be like, hey, boy, let's get out here and work, boy.
That would be hilarious. And I'm sure he would love it. He would love that. But my dad be like, I don't know if I'm going to be here much longer. We trying to tell him that. Don't be talking like that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's true. People really don't fight him, but because they shooting each other.
Yeah, but that's because that's what's really like glorified, right? Like now nowadays you don't have those kids that'll be like, okay, yeah, we going over to another neighborhood and we ain't getting along. We just gonna go ahead and just maybe fight or whatever. Now these kids are like, nah, I don't want to take a risk of getting hurt, so I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
And I mean, being honest, even us as grown men, it's certain situations we try not to put ourselves in, so we ain't got to worry about that type of stuff. If I got to go somewhere where I know, like, hey, I need a gun with me, then my ass ain't got no business being there to begin with.
Very much.
And that's a lot of the problem is These conversations are not being had. These kids don't understand. So they're just turning to what they feel like, hey, I'll get some act right or I'll get some respect for having this thing right here.
And they need to stay off social media. Take that with y'all young folk. Please, that's such an illusion. Please stay off social media. Like, of course, we didn't have that growing up. It was just,
Right.
We entertained each other. We had Connect Four, Battleship, Uno, Operation Perfection, all that. You children don't play games no more. You know what I'm saying? They don't do nothing. They just want to just look at TikTok and become viral, whatever the word.
Become virus.
Yeah, just become viral. Get somewhere and sit down. So, and I mean, and I didn't mean no offense by saying y'all.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I did.
No.
I was just, the words were flowing at the time.
Yeah. And it's nothing. I love that because I don't take offense to any of this. These are conversations that you're getting a different perspective so you can have a different level of understanding. And I'm pretty sure if anybody, watching this, if they, if they get to talk to you or they get to be in your presence, they have a better understanding of who you are now because Mississippi using outhouses, still being called niggers in in the 80s. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was happening in the early 80s. Now, real quick, it probably still happening now, but real quick, let me say this. Yeah, BS3, that's right. Social media will get you. Let me give a quick plug to your little cousin, Kay's Melody, for this beautiful t-shirt. Hey guys, y'all look that baby up. Kenyana Briscoe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she made this for me, and I had to put it on tonight so I can show the people. And I am the queen, honey. And she made me a necklace that looks just like this shirt. So y'all hit my baby up. Support her business. I just had to say it now. I forgot to say that.
Nah, that's great plug. I love that. And I love the fact that she's doing something like that. The fact that that's a young woman that's on her way to success. I guarantee you that. And her parents have done a hell of a job. And I have to say our family has done a hell of a job because it does take a village.
It does.
I'm definitely an example of that as well.
And y'all are so awesome. Like, God.
We try to be. You part of it now. That's you too.
Oh, man. I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Now
y'all are so great.
We got people in Mississippi.
Really? What part?
No, I'm saying because you from Mississippi.
Oh, so. You know what? I thought you were saying y'all had family at the too. Oh, well.
Yeah. I don't know nobody. I'm pretty sure we do, knowing, especially on my dad's side, knowing how they get down. I'm pretty sure we do. But I mean, hey man, you for sure though. And then what is it? What little town?
Belzoni.
I don't even want to look.
Belzoni. Look it up.
I'm pretty sure that don't even come up on maps.
It does. Surprise me too. It does come up on maps.
So what's the major city that is by?
I would say Greenwood.
Okay, that doesn't even sound right. What's the major city that is by?
Well, then I guess you could say, well, heck, I want to say that it's probably 2 hours, an hour and a half away. Jackson. I think it's an hour and a half away.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Because we know Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, Mississippi, we don't know too much about it.
And y'all support Jackson State University.
Oh, yeah.
Doing great things.
Yeah.
Mississippi Valley State University doing mediocre things. But definitely Jackson State with the Bank Sonic Boom. Yeah. Support. Look them up. Watch them.
Now, I did like it was a school down there that we played as well. I know Jackson State is one, but there's another HBCU there as well. What is that school?
Alcorn?
Yeah, Alcorn. Alcorn was very, very nice. I definitely give them credit for that.
Oh, yeah.
But once you got outside of that school, it seemed like that ain't the place you want to be at night.
It's not. It isn't.
Really?
And it's like the bugs be hitting your windshield sound like rain.
Well, it was just the look that they like people gave, like even some of the black people, like they know, like, nah, you ain't from around here, so we gonna school you and let you know. But it was hard to understand because of that thick country accent that they had. And it was like, boy, give it up, boy. Like,
but you know what though? I'm not all BS aside. Those some of the best people,
the
nicest people, and can cook. Greenwood sound like, shut up, Ben. They ain't mentioned over there no more. I don't think.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Look, I don't think.
That's why your dad got the hell out of there and said, I'm going to Memphis.
You watch your mouth. I think they worse in Memphis.
I mean, probably. Yeah. Because they accept y'all because they like, they used to work for us. They used to do good stuff. That's a good little boy. They probably smack y'all on y'all head in Alabama.
Look at Chaplin. You better not pat me on my head. Man.
Hey, Keisha, so good to see you.
You want me to act up tonight? That's what you want. You want me to act up? Okay, yeah. All right, I got you.
Oh man. Now we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Keisha, any final words for our viewing and listening audience tonight?
Ladies, just don't ignore the red flags. Just trying to be nice and trying to be understanding and hoping for the best. I mean, sure enough, you can remain friends with a great guy and they'll understand, of course, until the better comes along. But you don't have to necessarily just be like miserable or basically stringing them along because you don't want to hurt their feelings. That doesn't work well for you or him or however direction you decide to go, But yeah, just don't ignore red flags. Always be open, be honest, upfront, say what you feel with no fear of any consequences or rejection.
I love it. Same thing to piggyback off what you're saying. The same thing goes for guys. Understand your value, understand what you bring to the table, and make sure that the woman is on the same page as you. And be able and be willing to compromise, be able to have those tough, uncomfortable conversations. I always say the earlier, the better, because it gives the other person an opportunity to know if this is something that they truly want to pursue, or if this is just something that is strictly platonic or just a physical attraction. And at that point, you can address it from there and move forward. And also for my guys, just because Keisha Daddy is a escaped slave and learned to live on the land. Just because he was raised with the Indians and they taught him how to live off the land doesn't mean he a better man than you. But we give credit what credit's due. It's very impressive that man can build a 2-story shed and run electricity to it. I need a man cave in my backyard. So when your daddy come to Texas, you better make sure I better get an invite, a phone call, or something. Because I need to know the material that I need to buy in order for him to accomplish this goal for me.
He ain't gonna be able to be. You gonna get your black.
I'm gonna help him. I told you I'm gonna put on my overalls and I'm gonna have straw, and we gonna get out there.
Straw. Anyway. Yeah. Let me give a shout out to the homies.
He chewed tobacco. I forgot.
No, he does not chew tobacco. But let me give a shout out to the homies. T Mac, thank you for joining us tonight. Gary Freeman, the homies, Tawana Sneed, Sonny and Slim, they came to the party too. EB, yeah, got you too, bro. Toya, Perspective Podcast, the Phonecast, all y'all, BS3 Network, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. This piece.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Special shout out to Brian B. Williams, H-Rap.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here because now, she's going too far. But thank you all for joining us. We appreciate the love and respect. And
a lifetime.
All right, we out.